what is the difference between dating in your country and here in the Philippines?
Very difficult. Whereas you get cared only about what you have.
And in a relationship with a Filipina,
I
what
have
was your experience about that?
to give her family 4,000 pesos per month. A lot of flags that I look for.
So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your mystery and the Philippines. And for today's video, I have here. Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Yes, my name is Britt McAllister. Here in the Philippines for 19 months now, and I love it.
Well, what made you love Philippines?
I went through some rough times over in the U.S. I went through a 12-year marriage and had a bad divorce, and got back into the dating pool. And dating in the U.S. was not the same as it was when I was younger. Very hard to get a good date. It seemed like they cared only about what you have, how much money you have in the bank, what kind of car you drive, not about the person inside. And again, I had a very good paying job, but it just seemed like it wasn't enough. I felt like I was kind of like I would say, the invisible man back in the U.S.
So you said you were married
Yes.
before and divorced. So do you have kids?
I don't have any kids.
Okay, what is the difference between dating in your country and here in the Philippines?
That's a pretty simple one. Dating here is amazing. As far as a comparison, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the U.S. a 2, and I would probably give the Philippines a 12. So when you're looking at the reasons why, I'm very new to online dating. I tried that for the first time after my divorce, and online dating back in the West or back in America was very difficult. A lot of catfishing, people posting old pictures of themselves, so when they show up, they're unrecognizable. And here they are, they're wanting a $100 meal, and you're like, not the person I met online. And then you come up with ways to get around that. You start coming up with doing video chats and things of that nature, but not all women back in the West want to do that. So it was very difficult. Whereas you get over here and you go online dating, like back in the US, you post a profile, you may get 10 likes in a week. Here I had 254 likes the very first day.
Wow.
So a very big difference between here and the States.
So yeah, we're talking about dating. So how have you been in a relationship with a Filipina?
I have, yes.
How many? if you might kind of ask. Yeah.
I've gone through two relationships. Yes.
And how was your experience about that?
Experience-wise, the first relationship I had, I was probably here for about 2 or 3 months. I met a Filipina online on Bumble, and everything went great. Again, she was a college student, and everything was going well. We had a great summer. We did a lot of traveling, and what happened was that she started school. So again, here we were doing all these fun things, all these fun activities every day, going on a bike ride or going on a trip. And all of a sudden she starts school. Well, she's going to school 5 days a week. And then she's also a model. So during the weekends, she's doing modeling on Saturday and Sunday to get a scholarship for college. So I'm never seeing her anymore, except for at night when it's time for her to come home and study and go to sleep.
Okay. And then you also supported her financially.
I did pay for I paid for all, for the condo where I live, because she actually started staying with me towards the end. I did give her family 4,000 pesos per month to her mom, and that's what their rent was back in Bogo. But other than that, I mean, it's me basically paying for 2 people to eat, paying for the extra drinks and things of that nature, but nothing expensive. And sometimes she actually would cook at home, and actually that would save me money from what I was spending going out to eat.
So what was your opinion about dating here in the Philippines is different, because they said that when you date a Filipina, you are also dating with the family.
Correct.
What was your opinion about that?
I have dated quite a bit, so I wouldn't say that every Filipino you meet, you're going to be supporting family.
Yeah.
In fact, there are a lot of flags that I look for. There are red flags and there's green flags.
Yeah.
One of the big green flags for me when it comes to dating a Filipina who's going to take you seriously, who actually likes who you are and likes how you look, and probably would actually care about you in the long run. They're very ashamed to ask you for money.
Yes.
They don't even want to ask you for fare to get a taxi cab from wherever they live to your house, for example, while you're just going out on dates. So that's a good green flag. A red flag would be a Filipino who's always got an excuse. My
Like,
phone's broke.
yeah.
My mom's in the hospital and they won't release her until we pay the bill. I had a death in the family and we're needing money for funeral arrangements. I started school. I need money for tuition. I need money
for my
allowance and things of that nature. So you'll run into a lot of that. And on top of that, you run into a lot as far as online dating. Again, it doesn't happen very often with boots on the ground, but it happens a lot with online dating. When you first go on there, you have to filter out Filipinas. And what I mean by that is you'll meet several hundred. And you'll say, hey, well, let's meet after you do a video call, because I don't meet anyone here without doing a video call. So you have a video call first, and you'll make a coffee date. I've had several coffee dates, and sometimes you run into that Filipina that maybe be desperate for money.
Yeah.
Maybe they have tuition coming up, or maybe they have rent coming up, and they can't afford it.
Yeah.
And this is where the bad things come in. I mean, again, another red flag. They'll actually want to go back to your condo, and you first only met for 30 minutes to an hour, and they want to come back to your condo, and they're offering services as you're sitting there having a Pepsi or a Coke or a coffee, whatever you may prefer. But there may be offering services for 2,500 or 3,000 pesos, and I would gently say to them that's not for me. I'm looking for a serious relationship. Yep. And also another thing is when you actually come across the good ones out there, and you can tell, even the ones that could be desperate and have very big needs to have money for a place to stay or something like that, or even for tuition. I actually met one young lady. She was knockout gorgeous. She was beautiful, great personality.
Yeah.
Date was going good. And then she offered to go back to my house and do things. And this is one of the times where I actually said to her, I said, hey, that's not for me, and I will never see you again. But I explained to her, and I hope this helps her out, is if you would take your time and get to know the foreigner. Again, I know you guys are thinking, a lot of times the Filipinos are thinking that we have lots of money, and we do have a lot more money than most Filipinas have, which I understand.
Yeah.
But I explained to her, now what would have been better is if you got to know me first.
Yes.
We started dating. I would have gave you allowance. You could have gotten anywhere between 3,000 and 10,000 per week from me, and that would be a lot better than you out there providing your services to a lot of foreigner men. Because the first thing that goes to my mind when it comes to that transactional purchase is, if she'll do that with me, that's with any foreigner out there. So that's just not a thing for me. I didn't approach it that way, and I felt bad for the ones that actually would bring it up when we're actually out on dates.
So yeah, I'm gonna ask you, how months or how long have you been single though?
My last relationship went away in October.
Okay, last year.
So it's 2024.
Okay. So what would you advise to those foreigners looking for Filipina? Like they are just intentionally coming here in the Philippines just to see or to find a Filipina partner. What can you advise to them? What can you say?
I would tell you guys, take your time. Don't be in a rush. Go online and try online as well. And also try just walking around, boots on the ground. I would say, if it were my opinion, I would stay away from trying to meeting a Filipina here at the mall. That's just my particular case. I'd rather meet them elsewhere, just like walking around the city, things like that, coffee shops. But take your time. Don't be in a rush. Go very, very slow. Get to know her. Make sure there is no red flags that will drop her off the radar for you. And check for those green flags. Not asking for money. Being very sweet to you. And what I mean by very sweet is a good Filipina. There's a lot of small little things you can tell. A good Filipina who actually likes you as a person, she'll be all about you. She'll be texting you all the time. And a red flag is that Filipina who does not text you all the time, because that means that they may have other foreigners they're actually seeing. So a person that's got hands-on experience, a person that wants their hands on you, get to know you, wants to text you all the time, see what you're doing, what you're up to, that's the kind of thing you're looking for, and not asking for money.
Yeah, because we Filipino are like, okay, if we like someone, we keep on messaging, talking to them, calling them many times. If they cannot answer, our mind is,
Yes.
somewhere else. But there is some tendency that if we Filipino would do that to you guys, to you foreigners, then the foreigners would don't like it as well.
Correct.
Also.
Some guys may come over here, and then they got nicknames for them. You have passport bros, things like that. Now, those guys may not care about the bad Filipinas. And again, the ones that have lots of red flags, they may not care about that. But the most of the guys that I've actually met, they're over here to meet the right one. And a lot of times they may have already even met the right one while they're in the States. And when they get here, they're meeting for the very first time. So again, I've done several interviews with other people that actually have met, while they're online, and actually met for the first time here in the Philippines, and they're still together now.
Wow. So yeah, you were living here in the Philippines for almost 19 months, right?
Correct.
For 19 months. So, what made you like the Philippines? And then, have you been to many places here?
As far as what the big draw to the Philippines for me is number one, the cost of living. I could have stayed in America, made very good money, but I had to work in order to thrive and make myself, wanted or have that rat wheel going on. Over here, there is no more wheel. I'm no longer on a wheel trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm actually over here living life, and I don't have to work because the cost of living here is so much less than the U.S. So I'm able to stop working the 12 to 13-hour days and be over here where I get to do what I want, sleep until whenever I want, get up when I want. I don't have someone tell me when to go to the restroom or when I can go on a vacation day. I get to do everything that I want, and that's very nice. As far as traveling here is so inexpensive compared to the U.S. I would compare, for example, a standard airfare in the U.S. to go to other states is around $500 US for a flight. Over here, it's $40. So yes, I have traveled quite a bit. I've been to 13 islands so far.
Wow.
Now, a lot of these could be islands like Dinagat Islands, which is actually you fly to Surigao City and you take a boat over, a ferry over to Dinagat Islands. But I went on like the 3-island tour in Bantayan Island. I've been to Camotes Island.
Bantayan Island.
So I've been to a lot of different islands, small islands. I've been to Leyte, Bohol. I've been down to Mindanao. So I've been to several islands and several places for trips, and it's very inexpensive. So the draw here for me, to get back to your question, is first the people. The people here make this country what it is. You guys are simply amazing. You always have a smile on your face. Even though you may have a rough time, a rough day, or a rough month, you still have a smile on your face. You're still happy. You're still singing and doing karaoke. The country itself is beautiful. And because of the cost of living, I get to experience all those things wrapped up in one little package. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, thank you, Britt. And you can promote your channel. I think that's it for today.
All right.
Yeah, you can promote your channel so that my subscribers can also visit your channel.
All right. My channel is Britt. That's BRITT''S Filipina Adventure. I've been going for now about 6.5 months, and I got around 8,000 subscribers. So I'm a up and coming YouTuber, but happy to see you guys subscribe and give me that thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as well as Miss G and the Philippines and Britt's channels. And yes, thank you so much, Britt, for considering this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love the Philippines.